Bofuri, I don't want to get hurt, so I'll max out my defense, begins by showing a girl named Kaede Honjou, who is forced to fulfill her friend Risa Shiromine's request to play the virtual reality role-playing game called New World Online. Not wanting to get hurt, Kaede creates a shield-wielding avatar named Maple and puts all her skill points for defense. Although this leaves her with low speed and weak attack, her high defense allows her to earn new abilities and extra skill points for defense simply by letting enemies attack her. In the game, Maple decided to hunt monsters in the forest. The monsters tried to attack her, but their attempts failed because she had a pretty good defense. After defeating several monsters, Maple gains the absolute defense skill, the poison immunity skill, and the giant killing skill which can increase her defense. After that, Maple arrived in the city, intending to buy a shield, and met a man named Chrome, who told her a place where she could buy a shield. She then goes to a woman named Is the Crafter to buy a shield, but because she didn't have enough money, Is suggested she go to the dungeon to fight the powerful poison dragon. After arriving there, Maple immediately met the three-headed dragon named Hydra and spit out poisonous gas from its mouth. However, the poison spray from the dragon actually increased Maple's poison immunity skill. After she defeats Hydra, she gets the Hydra Eater skill and a set of armor, plus some required combat equipment. After getting new armor and shield, Maple went back to hunting monsters to improve her skills and get the new skills. The next day, she decides to participate in a battle royale event, where she can easily beat everyone who comes to attack her. Then she wins third place. After that, Risa joins the game as Sally, a swashbuckler specializing in evasion. They go to a cave to find the materials for a new shield. But because they still don't have the materials needed to make a new shield, she decides to dive underwater and manages to collect all the materials needed. Later, she explored the cave and improved her underwater skills, allowing her to defeat the boss and earn her own set of equipment. A few days later, Maple and Sally went to a shop, where Maple bought the cover move skill. While having lunch at the cafe, they met two male players, Dread and Drag, who told them about a quest in the forest, and if they successfully completed the quest, they would gain new skills. Long story short, Maple and Sally finally arrive at the forest, which turns out to be filled with ghosts that scare Sally. Finding a basement in an abandoned house, they find a man tied up in a chair and heal him to the afterlife, earning the super speed skill. After that, they continue their journey to complete quests in the forest. The next day, they head to level 2 to face off against a deer boss, which Sally manages to defeat after Maple gets knocked out. Then, Maple receives the snow-white shield she ordered from Is before. Then Sally takes her to a special area where they have a star-filled meal together. A few days later, the party-based treasure hunt's second event finally started. In this event, players must collect medals scattered throughout the region. At the end of the event, all medals can be exchanged for skills or equipment desired by the players. As the event begins, Maple and Sally find a hidden dungeon and successfully complete the challenge by defeating the boss, allowing them to earn their first few medals. Afterward, they rush to the mountainous region, where they met up with Chrome and his group, then let them go through a warp. Shortly afterward, Maple and Sally go through a warp and face off against a powerful ice bird boss, Silverwing, whose overly powerful moves start to overpower Maple's defenses. Pushing their skills to their limits, they eventually defeat Silverwing with minimal health remaining. Along with more metals and crafting materials, they find a pair of monster eggs that eventually hatch into turtle and fox companions, which they name Syrup and Oboro. Later, Maple and Kasumi reach a desert oasis, where they are challenged by Kasumi, the swordswoman ranked 6th in the first event. As Maple tries to catch up with Sally and Kasumi as they fight each other, they all end up falling into an underground dungeon, where they are bound together by a cursed chain that will kill all of them if one of them dies. Working together to avoid some unbeatable snail monsters, they clear the dungeon, free themselves from their chains, and then share the happiness of their victory. Later in the event, Maple and Sally meet a player named Kanade, a male mage player specializing in intel gathering and puzzle solving. allowing him to access secret places and items in the game. Kaede gives them a hint that leads them to an underwater squid boss, which Maple defeats by poisoning the sea. While Sally earns the remaining medals needed through player versus player kills before the end of the event, Maple uses the skills she earned to enhance Syrup into a mobile fortress. At the end of the second event, Maple exchanges the medals they got for the psychokinesis and acid rain skills. Managing to earn the right to purchase a guild house, Maple and Sally find a house in the forest and form a new guild named Maple Tree. They recruit Kasumi, Kaede, Kuromu, and Iz as members and make Maple the guild master. Then, Maple, Kaede, and Iz go to a mine to find the materials they need, where Kaede uses a Rubik's Cube-like staff called the Akashic Records, which grants him a random skill each day. On the other side, Sally, Kasumi, and Chrome hunt monsters to earn money which will later be used for the needs of the guild. One day, they were notified by the administrator about the upcoming events, where they would fight monsters and get rare items and also participate in competitions against other guilds. Needing more members for a forthcoming guild event, Maple decides to recruit two beginner players, the twin girls, Yui and Mai, who both maxed out their strength stats, which allow them to wield heavy weapons and deal maximum damage. Because Yui and Mai are rookie players, Maple trains them so that they can improve their skills. With her help clearing a dungeon fastly, they gain new skills, letting them dual-wield double-handed weapons and boost their damage. Afterward, Kaede gains an upgrade to his staff, while Chrome clears a hidden dungeon and earns a new set of equipment. Maple soon comes across a set of quests involving helping an NPC mother cure her daughter. As a result, she gains the Loving Sacrifice skill, allowing her to share her defense with her guild members, and ordering a new armor set from Iz to match it. Meanwhile, the other guilds decide to keep their eye on Maple Tree during an upcoming event. Before leaving for the third event, Iz made special outfits for all Maple Tree guild members, which will make it easier for them to hunt the cow enemies and get bell items. But then, Maple gets separated from her companions. She gets lost in the middle of the forest, where she finally finds an abandoned church. In the church, Maple encounters a guild boss, making her quite overwhelmed to deal with it. After being involved in a fierce battle with the guild boss, she thought she had managed to defeat it. However, it turned into a bloodthirsty monster and devoured her alive. Not just standing still, Maple then ate the monster from the inside and finally succeeded in defeating it and gaining new skills that let her transform into a giant monster. Then she reunites with her companions and finishes the third event in time. Not long after, Maple leads her guild into level 3. But on the way there, they have to face off against the guild boss in the dungeon, where she can easily defeat the boss with her new skills. Arriving at level 3, she and her companions look flabbergasted because it turns out that level 3 is a city filled with machines. After hearing about the Machine Lord area from an NPC, Maple gets lost and winds up in the Graveyard of Dreams, where she encounters yet another guild boss. However, suddenly one of her items was sucked into the guild boss, who then resurrected her. She managed to stop the guild boss when it was about to attack her. Before the guild boss berserk, it gives Maple the Machine God skill, allowing her to defeat it. Before participating in the next event, Maple decided to take a short vacation with Sally, Yui, and Mai. However, they turned out to be being watched by Frederica, a girl who was a member of the Order of the Holy Sword Guild. Sally, who realized this, told Frederica to reveal herself and challenged her to a duel, in which the losing party had to provide information about the other guilds. They then got into a fierce battle, but in the end, Frederica gave in to defeat and revealed information about the Flame Emperor's Guild. After Frederica leaves, Sally tells her companions that the skills she used against Frederica were fake. The guild competition soon begins, and each guild is tasked with stealing orbs from other guilds while defending their own. When the guild competition finally begins, Maple and her guild hatch a plan with Sally, Kasumi, and Chrome to infiltrate the other guild's lair to steal their orbs, while Maple and the others will protect their orbs in their guild home. Sally uses her stealth and cunning to gain a few orbs, having a brief brush-in with one of Holy Sword Guild members, Dread, before stealing an orb from the Flame Emperor's Guild. On the other hand, with several orbs under their control, Maple Tree takes advantage of Maple's defense to defend its base from all attackers. Because their guild ranking is still below the top 10, Sally and Kaede go hunting for more orbs, while Chrome and the others prepare an ambush on any attackers, leaving Maple with Mai and Yui to defend the base. When Kasumi fights head-to-head with Shin from the Flame Emperor's guild, Sally is surrounded by Frederica and her guild members, which puts her under pressure. However, Maple arrived just in time to help her guild members defeat Frederica with her machine god skill. On the other hand, Dread managed to infiltrate the Maple Tree. It is currently only guarded by Mai and Yui, which he could easily defeat. However, before he can steal all the orbs in Maple Tree, Maple gets there first and manages to defeat him. Meanwhile, after Kasumi defeats Shin and reunites with Chrome and Kaede, they rush back to Maple Tree to work out their next plan. While Sally and the others get some rest, Maple, Mai, and Yui launch an attack on the Flame Emperor's guild and break through all of their traps made by the trap master of the guild, a young man named Marks. Marks and the other guild members seem to have a hard time dealing with Maple, who had a very strong defense. Until finally, a girl named Mi, a high-ranking mage in the Flame Empire guild master arrived. Mi and her guild use a barrage of attacks to try and push Maple out of attack range, giving her enough time to trap Maple in a prison of flame that deals continuous damage. This motivates Maple to bring out her machine god form, which manages to defeat Marks and the other guild member, a young woman named Misery. Knowing that her guild members had been defeated, Mi used her self-destruct skill, hoping to destroy Maple even if it's sacrificing herself. However, Maple managed to survive the attack and defeated Mi. Even when Maple and her guild could not obtain the Flame Emperor's guild's orbs, with most of the other guilds already eliminated, Maple Tree is confronted by the main members of Holy Sword, the guild master Pain, with Dread, Frederica, and Drag. Pain, who was the New World Online's top player with the highest level in the game, turned out to be not a random opponent, so Maple seemed to have a hard time dealing with it. Due to minimal health, she uses a risky counter move to deal with Pain's damage back at him. But he manages to withstand the attack, forcing Maple to bring out her monster form to defeat him and the rest of the Holy Sword Guild members. With all their trump cards out in the open, Maple uses her monster form to help her team eliminate other guilds to prevent the bigger guilds from gaining more orbs. As the event ends with Maple Tree in third place, the administrators decide to leave Maple alone as she has drawn many new players into the game, and many will try to be the first to beat her. Afterward, Maple invites both the Holy Sword and the Flame Emperor's Guild to join everyone for a celebration of their winning. The anime ends. The moral lesson of the story is, don't be afraid to take risks and make mistakes. If you're not making mistakes, you're not taking risks, which means you're not going anywhere. The key is to grow from that mistakes, so you have more chances to learn and win.